Hello everyone and welcome.
Not so fast. I'm taking over this review show in the name of Cobra.
Really? Why would you want to take over a review show?
That's for me to know and you to find out. Now, Commander, you're going to lock yourself in the closet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Did you bring your army with you?
I don't need an army to take a mere review show. Why aren't you cowering in fear before me?
Well, I just don't think you've done your homework about this show.
What do you mean?
Well, if you had, you'd know we have a 16-ton dinosaur.
Well, what have we here? Hello there, tiny little snake person. Wow, you really are a piece of work, aren't you? I mean, I've known some annoying characters in my day, but you, pal, you take the cake. I mean, after 5 minutes with you, you'd have Jar Jar Binks saying, "Ye gods, you said needing to shut up right now." A dinosaur, huh? Well, you win this time, Commander Go, but you haven't seen the last of me. Cobra! Geez, what was that all about?
Well, hey there, somebody looking for me? Oh, hi, Karl. What brings you here? Well, I'll tell you. I felt a great disturbance in the Force. It was as though a tortured and tormented soul cried out in desperation the name Cobra. And I thought it might be a customer. Oh, no, that was just Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe. I'm reviewing G.I. Joe the movie today, and, well, Cobra Commander just coincidentally happened to show up and try to take over the show.
Yeah. Funny how characters from the thing you're reviewing will just suddenly show up coincidentally on the same day you're reviewing that thing. That's really weird, Go.
Yeah, that is a strange coincidence. I wonder why that is.
Oh, yeah, it's a rain teaser, alright.
Oh, hey, G.I. Joe. Wasn't that toy from the 60s? The first ever action figure? That one? That's right, but this movie is based on the revival and expansion of that franchise in the 1980s. Yeah, I heard about that toy line. It seems like a really great product. Hey, why don't I do the review with you? Oh, sure, Karl, that would be wonderful. Welcome aboard.
Okay, well, since you got someone to review with you this time, I guess you don't need me sticking around so I can leave, right?
Well, Bruce, yeah, you can go, but, if you do, then there won't be any dinosaurs left for the rest of my show.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a good point. Alright, why don't I stick around and help you too?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Commander Go Show. And please welcome my guests today, Cobra Karl and Bruce the Belligerent Brontosaurus. Say hello, guys. Howdy, my friends.
Yeah. Hello, mammals.
And today we're going to be reviewing the 1987 animated tie-in film to the G.I. Joe TV series, titled simply G.I. Joe the Movie.
Okay, well, Go, before you get too far into this, I don't know too much about G.I. Joe, okay? So if I can't keep up with you, slow down and explain things to me, okay?
Well, actually, I don't know that much about G.I. Joe either.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought you were a huge Transformers fan, right?
Oh yeah, I am a big Transformers fan.
Well, wait a minute. Aren't G.I. Joe and Transformers in the same universe?
Yeah, usually, as I understand it.
Well, then how can you be such a big Transformers fan and not know about G.I. Joe?
I don't know. I just was always just focused on Transformers, and I never really got that much into the G.I. Joe. So I guess it's just kind of a blind spot in my early childhood fandom.
Okay, well then, Karl, what do you know about G.I. Joe?
Well, I know a little bit about the toy line. I've heard a few things here and there, but not a whole lot. And I've never really seen any of the tie-in media, so about the storyline and the characters, well, I really don't know anything.
Wait, so this is like the first real dive into G.I. Joe for all three of us?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, alright. Well, we clearly don't know what the heck we're doing, so let's plow right ahead.
Well, yeah, nothing to it but to do it, I guess. Karl, would you like to do the intro? Why, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and fans of Hasbro products of all ages, stay tuned for our review of G.I. Joe, the movie. By the way, if you would like to see more content about pop culture, movies, and TV, then click that subscribe button. And hey, it just might brighten your day too. And now, on with the show. G.I. Joe the Movie is the 1987 animated movie based on the animated TV series that was itself based on the 1980s revamp of the G.I. Joe toy line. While originally G.I. Joe was the name of a single character, the 1980s relaunch of the toy line reimagined it as the codename for an entire unit, allowing Hasbro to greatly expand their roster of characters. The movie begins with an opening segment that tells its own story unrelated to the story of the rest of the movie, much like the opening segments of James Bond movies. In this segment, we see a celebration taking place at the Statue of Liberty until an airship appears belonging to an international criminal organization bent on world domination named Cobra. The airship launches fighter vehicles and paratroopers, which attack the Statue of Liberty, attempting to destroy her. But Duke, the field leader of G.I. Joe, soon appears atop the statue and begins shooting down the Cobra attackers, releasing a battle cry, "Yo, Joe!" Soon the rest of the G.I. Joe team emerges. They fight and defeat the attackers, forcing Cobra's leader, Cobra Commander, to sound a retreat. The segment ends with Duke wearing a jetpack, picking up a fallen American flag, and flying it to the top of the statue, where he waves it triumphantly as he is joined by the rest of the Joes.
Okay, that was awesome. Talk about your toy commercials. I mean, that's all you need right there. I want all the toys now after seeing only the intro.
Yeah, this opening is a flag-waving, fist-pumping, patriotic mini-story with the best-looking animation in the entire movie, set to an extended version of the theme song from the TV series. It really gets you pumped up, and could have probably stood alone as its own cartoon short had they wanted to release it that way. It's an early frontrunner for my favorite piece of G.I. Joe animation. The movie then continues at Cobra headquarters, as we see some infighting between Cobra Commander, who we'll learn has recently been demoted to second in command, and Serpentor, who has replaced him as Cobra leader. Amidst this turmoil, a mysterious cloaked figure sneaks in and fights her way to Serpentor. Her name is Pythona, and she represents Cobra La, an ancient civilization of snake people, older than mankind itself, that has been living in a secret underground city since the Ice Age. Cobra, it seems, works for them, and Pythona is delivering orders for a new mission. Cobra then launches a new attack on G.I. Joe to steal their new invention, the Broadcast Energy Transmitter, which can beam large amounts of energy to distant locations. They succeed in taking the energy transmitter and begin preparing it to use it in a plan to conquer the surface world so that Cobra La can rise again. Meanwhile, the G.I. Joe team is training new recruits, But can these new recruits be trusted with a mission to find and retrieve the broadcast energy transmitter and put an end to Cobra's plan?
Is it me, or did the story focus a lot more on Cobra than on G.I. Joe?
I'm not exactly sure how much screen time G.I. Joe and Cobra each got respectively, but it sure seemed like it. This is my first real G.I. Joe story, and I feel like I've come away with a better understanding of the villains than the heroes. That being said, I only feel like I have a good understanding of the leaders of Cobra, Serpentor, Cobra Commander, and Cobra La's ruler of Globulus. I had heard about a couple other high-ranking Cobra characters via pop culture, like Destro and the Baroness, and they were in this movie, but with much smaller parts, so I don't really have a handle on those characters yet. I guess they are more important in the series.
But what's the deal with the Joes? Okay, I guess Duke is sort of the main guy, and he was kinda important in the movie. Yeah, and I liked him. He seemed pretty cool. But really, the story was more about the new guys. Falcon in particular. And Falcon was a terrible soldier. He was careless, insubordinate, and didn't seem to really want to be there. He only seemed to have made it that far because of nepotism anyway. I thought this was supposed to be an elite military unit.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at how often this supposedly elite military unit made dumb or careless mistakes. And it wasn't always Falcon either. In one scene, a Cobra agent just walked in and out of a G.I. Joe base with secret information just by wearing one of their uniforms.
Yeah, and they also sent trainees on a very important and dangerous active duty mission. And to make it worse, they decide to send them without weapons for a bigger challenge. What? I mean, what?
Well, as a movie to sell toys, I will say they got a ton of characters and vehicles in action looking really cool on the screen throughout. True, but is it enough to just get them on the screen in a way that looks cool? Shouldn't there be something distinctive about each one to entice the audience to want to buy its toy? I mean, there was something distinctive about a few characters. Big Lob always spoke in sports terms, and Jinx was supposedly bad luck, and Roadblock had a tendency to speak in rhyme. But there were so many more characters, and I still don't know what the deal is for most of them. I think a little too much screen time was given to showing off the vehicles. Some of that could have gone to character moments instead, and that would have helped with all that. But I understand the focus on the vehicles. If the point is to sell toys, well, the vehicles would have had a higher price tag than the action figures, and therefore would have brought in bigger profits. I think the trick they missed, though, is to make the vehicles be distinct characters in the story in their own right. One can either do this literally by giving the vehicle an actual voice and personality, like Knight Rider's Kit or all the Transformers, or just design the vehicle to be distinct and make it important to the plot, like Back to the Future's DeLorean or the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. They missed an opportunity here. The only vehicle like that they have in the movie was that broadcast energy transmitter, and Hasbro never even made a toy version of that vehicle. Okay, so do I recommend it? I guess I would say I do, even if only for that awesome opening scene. But unless you're a big G.I. Joe fan, I don't think you'll be missing much if you don't stick around to the end. I do see some potential in G.I. Joe, though, and may want to explore the franchise further. Well, hey, if you do, let me know. I'll be happy to join you. I sure will.
Well, I'm out of here for now.
Where are you off to, Bruce?
Well, after this movie, I feel the urge to go thank a veteran.
I think that's a great idea. So long, everyone, and thank you to all our veterans out there.